Hello guys, today I'll be teaching you guys the basic knowledge of AutoCAD, how to start 2D drawing and how we're gonna use line, polyline, circles, arcs, rectangles, and I'm gonna talk about few of the modification tools right here. First, I will be covering up all this today and few of the uh, sketch entities. Okay, so I'm gonna click on my editing as uh, okay, so I'm gonna click on my line. Okay, so I can once I click on line right now it's asking me my specify the first point. Okay, so and in this drawing area is the first point, it will be near or closer to the origin over here. Okay, so on this side of the origin everything is positive, and on this side it will be all negative, negative plus positive, and in here it will be negative negative. As you guys can see, the numbers are changing in negative negative, but if I move my mouse here it'll be x positive, y negative. Okay, so let me okay, so I write pan. My pan tool will allow me to move my drawing and easily um, go wherever I need to um, be. Like, I mean, you can change you can move your drawing with your pan tool. Okay, so the pan tool is to move, right? And I'm gonna press escape so I can get out of that pan tool, and you can access pan tool from here as well. Okay, so I'm gonna be starting off with the line. Okay, for the line I'm gonna write my first coordinate gonna be 1 comma 1, right? Enter. So now I have two ways I can make my second point. Either I can put in coordinates like for example 10 comma 10, right? Then there will be a line going 10 comma 10, right? But if I were to okay, let me make it right in the center. Okay, but if I were to do look at this, 1 comma 1, right? Enter. Now I'm gonna be moving my mouse, and as you guys can see, I have two things. One, my angle, and one, my distance, right? So if I were to put in distance, I will if I were to put 10, and if I press tab now instead of comma, it will change me to the angle. Okay, so in the angle I will write either 0. Okay, 0 will be horizontal. Okay, so as you can see, as soon as I hit 0, this line is straight now. Okay, and basically I can put any angle that I need to the line in any direction. So this is how I made my one line, right? And I have this snap on cursor 2D reference point on, and once I click on the right hand side of this down arrow key, I have these a lot of cool options. Okay, so I have this one, enable end point, okay, which is very important. End point is important, midpoint important, and our center point, and sometime you guys are gonna be needing this uh, quadrant. Okay, all of these are in use but not so often. Okay, so I'm gonna click here on the line again, and I'm gonna as I come closer, right, because of that thing that I just showed you, and it said endpoint, right, and this green square is coming all because of that. Once I'm gonna click here, I can move my I can start my line again, and as you can see, I have this polar tracking on, which is the green line, right? So now I'm gonna move my mouse up, and I'm gonna see, okay, do you know what? I need the distance of 5, and the 90-degree angle is perfect. So I'm gonna click enter, and it will enter, right, and enter in the system this line. Now I'm gonna use my polar tracking. Okay, I I come on that endpoint, and I move my mouse up. Okay, just didn't grab it. Okay, now it did. Okay, perfect. As soon as I hit 90, it automatically locks for me, right? I can move around a little bit, but it won't do anything, which is very good. Okay, I'm just gonna click here, and I'm just gonna click on the endpoint, right? So now I basically made a triangle. Now there's a difference between this triangle with a single line and polyline. Okay, now I'm gonna work with the polyline. I'm gonna click the polyline. Okay, I'm gonna make it right next to it. Okay, and the same. I'm gonna write 10, enter, right, and I'm gonna write 5, enter. Okay, okay, sweet. Okay, so now let me show you guys. I'm gonna select both of them, and you guys can clearly see the difference. Okay, in this line there's a square over here. In this line there's a line in here. Once I hover over this line, it's giving me three options. Either I can stretch, add a vertex, or convert to arc. This is the quality of polyline. Okay, here, let me show you guys. Let me write some things for you guys. Okay, 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 and I'm gonna line uh, polyline. Okay, polyline. Okay, and I'm gonna retype it here. Okay, I'm gonna write line. Okay, okay. So this is my polylines over here, and this is my line. Okay, in line I can only stretch it out. Okay, I can stretch it back in. Okay, I can move it, my line, by the middle one. Okay, this middle one is for moving, the side ones are for stretching. And in this I can stretch. Okay, like stretch. Okay, once I stretch, these lines are getting stretched, but these are not getting disconnected from here. Okay, but for example, if I were to do stretch again, let me get it back where it was. Okay, now I'm gonna convert to vertex. Okay, once I do vertex, now there's two lines. Okay, this is the quality of the vertex. But let me show you guys the last option, which is said convert to arc. Okay, once I convert to arc, it asks me the point, right? So for example, now this is convert to arc. So there's a difference between polyline and the polyline. Okay, okay, let's erase everything. Okay, yeah, let me teach you guys about the mouse feature. In the mouse feature, we have two type of selection. Either I can go right after clicking. I'm not clicking and holding right now. Okay, I just clicked and I left and I just move my mouse. Simply move my mouse. It's made the square, right? I mean triangle, rectangle. But if I were to click and move to the left, it does the green one. The green one is very cool that it will select everything even if it's partially in. Like this one, this is partially in. These two lines are partially in, right? This line and this line is partially in, but once I hover over those two, it select everything instead of this because it wasn't in. But if I were to do blue, right, whatever is fully in, it will be selected. For example, this line was fully in, but not those two. That's the quality of this selection. Okay, either I can press Control A to select everything on my drawing, right? Once I press Control A, it's a shortcut key to select everything. Now I'm gonna press Delete key, okay? Because I want to delete all this. Now let's talk about circles. Okay. Okay. So we have a couple type of circles over here. One, the most common one is the center radius. So I'm going to click here, I'm going to click on the center point, and I'm going to click the radius of 2, enter, right? Now I'm going to select the one that's the diameter. Once I click on the diameter, it's asking me to pick the center point, right? Now I'm going to pick the center point. I'm going to write 2 on the diameter. So basically, this is larger and this is smaller because this is radius and this is diameter. That's the difference. And diameter is count from here, this end to this end, and in here, this end to this end is 1. I mean 2, so that's why it's twice as bigger than this one, right? Now, this is point to point, right? Let me show you guys. So I'm going to select this point, and I'm going to select this point. This is called point to point, right? Now it's time to select this one. So I'm going to select my this point, and I'm going to select this point. So basically, this is saying you select 3 points, and that's how you create this circle over here, right? Let's talk about a different circle. It's called tangent, tangent, radius. Okay, so I'm going to click on this circle. I'm going to select this circle. Now it's asking me for the radius. Radius of 3. Let's see. Okay, this is our tangent, tangent, and then you have to put the number in. Now let's do the last one. The last one is that tangent, 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 and the quality is of AutoCAD. Once you hover your mouse over and leave it for like 5 seconds, it gives you all these cool uh description of that sketching tool that you're using right now. Okay, like this. So I'm gonna select this line, and I'm gonna select my this line, and I'm gonna select my this line. So basically this circle is tangent to these 3 lines. Okay, so this is how I made my circles. Okay, now I'm gonna select everything, delete. Basically press the delete key. We have bunch of arcs. Okay, each arc and each arc has a different purpose and a different meanings to it. Okay, so I'm just gonna cover the first 3 up here and this end and radius one, which is most commonly used. Okay, so for that I'm gonna build my one rectangle. Okay, let's start off this arc. So this is a 3-point arc. Let me enable my midpoint, which is very important right here, which you'll find right up here, right? Okay, specified start off point is gonna be this, and this. So this is how I made my one arc. Let me delete this arc. Okay, let's make another one, which is start and let me do it again. Sorry guys. So basically what I did a start, center, end. Okay, now I'm gonna delete this one. I'm gonna do this length. Okay, so start, my center point. Okay, and as I stretch my length, as you guys can see, there's a length stretch, right? At 10 it will be fully, I mean 11, this is 11, right? But if I were to do my, for example, I need an arc that the length should be what, 9. I can manually put 9, and this thing will be, the length will be from here to here will be 9. That's why you need the length sometime when you're making something. And let's talk about this start, end, and radius. Okay, this is something that I'll be showing in my other tutorials, that how we're gonna be using this one. Okay, more. For example, there should be what, 4. Perfect, sweet. Because sometimes you need the radius to be a certain degree. Okay, so I have covered all that. Now I'm gonna delete everything, and I'm gonna come here, and I'm gonna talk about my rectangle. For rectangle, it's basically a very simple rule. It's asking me for my first point, let's say 1 comma 1, right? Start off. Now it's asking me more for my second point. I can put, like, for example, 10 tab 10. So now the height and the width is 10. How would I know? I can click here and check. 10. Oops. Sweet. And let me teach you guys how to change your precision, which is very annoying sometimes. Okay, the way you guys gonna change your precision, you guys gonna come here in the annotate tab over here. Okay, this dimensions, right? You're gonna click this side down key, which is said dimension style. Okay, once you click here, there's this modify button over here, right? You're gonna click here. Okay, you're gonna go under primary units. Okay, and right here is your precisions. I'm gonna click here, and I'm gonna set to 2 zeros, and I'm gonna click OK, and I'm gonna click close, and all of a sudden these are 2 zeros, which is very cool and very nice sometimes. Okay, okay, now let's get back here. Okay, so let's try the move feature right here. Okay, for example, this is over here, but I want to move it right over here. So how would I do it? First, either I can select if I need to. Okay, for example, select first, then press the move feature, right? And I want to move it right from the center point, right? Right here. Perfect. Sweet. Now I'm going to show you guys how can you copy this right up here. I want to mirror, actually. I can copy or mirror. Same thing for this thing. So first I'm going to do copy, like I said. Okay, saying which object would you like to copy. I select this object. Okay, and I want to have this 2 in there and this 2. Now it said you have selected 3 in total, right? I'm going to press enter. Once I press enter, now all of these things are entered, right? Now I just have to click and it will come over here. Right here. Okay, right now it's set to power copy, which is I can copy infinitely if I need to, which is very cool sometime. You're gonna be using this feature sometime, okay? I just did a power copy, but if I need the single copy, I can click on select, and I can mode single. Okay, sweet. Right. This is how you do a single copy, and it will go away now. And I want to show you guys mirror feature, which is very cool, right here. This mirror feature is right here. So now saying select first object. I'm gonna select this object. Okay, sweet. Now it's saying specify the first point. So I'm like, you know what? I need my first point to be what? This far. Okay, now it's saying if I want to erase the original. I said no, I want to keep the original and I want this one too. This is how I mirror this thing right next to over here. The distance between those two are the line that I just created a minute ago while creating the mirror. So guys, that's it for this tutorial. I'll be making another tutorial pretty soon on how to use rotate, trim, slash extend. Okay, and I'll be talking about fillets. I'll be having a recap on my rectangle, and also I'll be covering up my um, spline fit and spline CV. I'm going to be telling the difference between those two in my next tutorial. So that's about it for this tutorial.